long week winter. There was snow, there was ice, until they finally got a new proposal from the WNBA owners. Well, that proposal came late last night. It came last night from the owners to the players.
For 6 weeks, WNBA players waited in silence while their season was left uncertain. During that time, there was no counteroffer, no real negotiation, and no communication at all. Then, on Friday night, the league owners finally submitted a new proposal. What most people aren't talking about is what the earlier proposal, leaked to ESPN, actually showed. The owners were willing to more than double the maximum salaries and raise the average player salary to around $1 million by the end of the next CBA. Despite that, the players' union is still holding out for more, even though the league says those demands are financially impossible.
It escalated salaries up to $1 million for the average player by the end of the next CBA. Was that the new proposal? Or is this a new one? Is this one we haven't got the details of yet? I'm sure the players' union is going to share this. They're going to put this out at some point, I would guess.
Look at the numbers closely. Right now, the maximum salary is about $1.87 million in the final year of the current CBA. Under the owner's leaked proposal, that would rise to $2.4 million. For average players, salaries would climb toward $1 million by the end of the next agreement. These are not small raises. This is life-changing money for a league that has never made a profit in its 28-year history. Still, Union President Nneka Ogwumike made it clear on Friday that the two sides are nowhere close on revenue sharing. And that disagreement is the main issue that could put the entire 2025 season at risk.
The whole thing down. That's not what fans want after watching. Number one, look, 3/4 of all fans are tuning in for Caitlin Clark. And after seeing her have to deal with the injuries and everything and only seeing 13 games last year, nobody wants to see 20 games from this league. We want to see every game played. We don't even want to see preseason games lost at this point. Quote, I know the players 100% want to play this year.
Here's where it gets complicated. The players are asking for 30% of gross revenue, not net revenue after expenses. Gross revenue means the money comes off the top, before the league pays for things like charter flights, upgraded facilities, 5-star hotels, medical care, security, and arena costs. Adam Silver has already said publicly that this kind of demand isn't financially realistic. At the same time, the owner's last proposal offered players more than 70% of net revenue, meaning their share would come after all those upgraded expenses are paid. Think about that for a moment. The players would still receive the majority of whatever money is left once the league covers all the costs they've been pushing for over the years.
May 8th, but an expansion draft, free agency, and rookie draft also need to happen before the league tips off. Ogwumike said once the revenue sharing is solved, the rest hopefully will fall into place. Quote, we made the point that once we nail this, we can get everything else done. I'm sure, because who wouldn't want 30% of gross revenue?
But Union President Nneka Ogwumike said something very revealing in her interview with the Associated Press. She explained, once they nail revenue sharing, everything else will fall into place quickly. In simple terms, the union has drawn a hard line on this issue. They are not willing to move off their demand for 30% of gross revenue, even though that could actually result in less money than the owner's offer of 70% of net revenue. At this point, it's no longer just about maximizing player pay. It's about principle. And that's a risky position to take when the season is scheduled to start on May 8th, and the league still needs to complete an expansion draft, free agency, and the rookie draft before the first game is even played.
It's unlimited. Their players, because they got players that are in the union playing for that league. Quote, I actually like the fact that we've had these 6 weeks now still waiting for a proposal. It's given us a gift of time. And so, in December, after the strike authorization vote, we were able to meet in Miami and talk to players. Having the strike on the table is something we're very much aware of, but there's so many more conversations that have to.
Now here's the part that should scare everyone involved. During these 6 weeks of silence, union leaders have been meeting with players, including those in Athletes Unlimited, using what Nneka Ogwumike called a gift of time. In reality, they've been preparing for the possibility of a strike. The union already held a strike authorization vote back in December, and Ogwumike admitted that having a strike on the table is something they are very aware of. She also said there are still many conversations that need to happen before they would actually take that step. But make no mistake, a strike wouldn't just be bad for the league. It would be catastrophic.
Strike. Knowing how much money they're leaving on the table, oh, man, that would look awful. Whether, I know a lot of people don't like to have this brought up, but of a league that's never turned a profit, a player strike will look ridiculous. It will look absurd. I mean, wow. So if the league was to ever come back, is anybody going to care? The damage these players are not thinking about the damage that was done to Major League Baseball at one time because of a work stoppage.
Public relations fallout alone would be brutal. Just imagine the headlines: WNBA players strike despite record pay increase offer. The owners have already leaked the details of their proposal to ESPN so fans can see exactly what is being turned down. They're clearly trying to get ahead of the story because they know how this looks. This is a league that has never been profitable and has been supported by the NBA for nearly 30 years, yet now players are threatening to strike after being offered salary increases that would more than double their pay. Think about how casual fans would react to that. Think about sponsors. Think about the TV networks that just signed new media deals. And that's only the PR side of it. The real harm would be much deeper, long-term, and potentially permanent.
Years for the league to be able to bounce back. One could argue that was the passing of the torch from Major League Baseball to the NFL. Because the NFL had Major League Baseball had a work stoppage. It killed the World Series that year. And then it took about 5 years for fans to start coming back. It took the McGwire, Sosa, Bonds home run record chase.
Major League Baseball learned this lesson the hard way in 1994, when a work stoppage canceled the World Series, baseball's biggest event. Fans were furious, and it took 5 years for them to start coming back. Even then, it required the historic home run race between Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds to bring interest back, and TV ratings never fully recovered. Baseball used to dominate American sports, but after that strike, the NFL passed it and never looked back. Now apply that warning to the WNBA in 2025. For the first time in its history, the league has real, sustained attention. Caitlin Clark's rookie season drew millions of viewers, merchandise sales surged, attendance records were broken, and the league signed new media deals with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon worth $2.2 billion over 11 years. This is the breakthrough moment people have waited for since 1997, yet the players are considering walking away from it. Timing matters here. Owners have every reason to question whether this surge will last, especially when most new fans tuned in specifically for Caitlin Clark. What happens if she gets injured again, if the on-court product doesn't meet the hype, or if casual fans lose interest in a league that plays only 40 games instead of 82? The owners are trying to secure a deal based on current, proven revenue, with increases tied to future growth. The players, meanwhile, want a share of gross revenue that assumes this growth is permanent and guaranteed. They want to be paid like the NBA before proving the league can sustain NBA-level interest. That's what makes this so frustrating for fans, who have been clear about what they want: safer play, consistent officiating, and a better overall product, not more instability at the exact moment the league finally has momentum. All the drama has started to overshadow basketball itself, and fans have been clear about their limits. If the quality of play doesn't improve, if stars like Caitlin Clark keep getting hurt because the league won't protect them, fans will tune out again, and advertisers are paying close attention. Those huge media deals depend on strong viewership, and if a strike causes fans to walk away, networks like NBC and Amazon may realize they overpaid for a shrinking audience. Unlike baseball, the WNBA doesn't have decades of built-in loyalty, so one bad decision could push it back into irrelevance. That's why the leaked proposal matters so much. Players are being offered transformational money, a $2.4 million max salary and average salaries nearing $1 million, before endorsements or overseas income. For a league that has never turned a profit, that's an extraordinary offer. Yet union leadership has carefully said only that games will be played, not that the season will start on time or that all 40 games will happen, raising concerns about a shortened season, which,